Hi, I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's Mac.
And Blair.
And here we are once again with the Parenting Podcast. We haven't done this for a little while, and that is because, well, we're parents and we have kids and we work
Life.
and we have life. And we're going to get into that because that's what we want to talk about today is dig into some of those points about parenting, children, life, and all of that and how it all comes together. But first, before we go too deep, since we hadn't talked a while, Blair, how are you doing? What are your thoughts on kind of where we are, where you are right now?
I'm good. I've been really enjoying this hot spell we've been having in England for a little bit. It's been going on for about a week and a half now. Just so everybody completely understands, we live in England and it's not as warm as the States. So, like, when we see things from the States right now, everybody is clearly living it up in the 70s and 80s. We are not. We typically are not. If you can see, I have on a sweater dress that if I tried to wear this in the States right now, I would just burn up. Like, there's no way I would have this on right now. But here, it's a great day for it. The sun is out, it's pretty, it's bright, but it's still a bit cool.
Yeah, we went out yesterday. So we were home and we're like, hey, let's go to Birmingham. And it's a beautiful day. It was sunny, sun was shining, it was clear. And the boys have been outside playing with just t-shirts on and shorts and the kids and say, hey, let's go out. And so we got everyone in the car, packed up. And by the time we got to Birmingham, the weather
Weather
had
changed.
changed. I mean, completely. From a sunny day, it was cloudy, it was overcast, and it was
It's
cold.
cold.
Yeah, the
So,
temperature dropped.
yeah, we immediately had to like kind of rethink about how are we going to do this because we were already out more than an hour away from home, so we had to keep it going. So we immediately like went and got some coats and jackets and sweatshirt. I got a sweatshirt for everyone to make sure everybody was comfortable and could still be out and still enjoy the day.
Yeah, I mean, you would say, oh, just push through. No, it was cold, and the kids just had on light t-shirts, no undershirts. So they got some light jackets, which works well because they actually kind of needed some new jackets because as it is, they don't stop growing. They're
No, no, but they constantly need new jackets, constantly need new clothes. I need to talk to Mac about getting some more clothes for Matthew because none of his stuff is looking
Yeah,
right now.
and that tends to happen by the end of the school year, which the end of the school year is less than 30 days
It's
now.
about 30
Yeah, about
days for
30
them.
days to the end of school. So by the end of the school, you buy clothes the beginning of the school year. You maybe a little refresh in the center of the school year, middle of the school year. That's the winter break, and now we're heading right to the end of the year. And you'll notice all those pants are about 2 inches short, and Matthew's stuff is looking a little young on him,
Very young.
very young on him. And so yeah, we're going to refresh all the clothes over the summer, over the next couple months. And actually, Blakely, we had to go buy her some pants just like a week ago
Right,
because she's grown so much and stuff just wasn't fitting anymore.
right.
And we're constantly having to
We're in the middle of that always.
always adding and editing, right? We're
Yes.
always adding clothes, but then you also have to always quietly take clothes away because Blakely gets attached.
Blakely does get attached, but we've been working with her and she's been doing much better with understanding if you take some stuff out, you're going to get stuff replaced, okay? So take a little, get a little, okay?
Yeah, she loves keep. I'm sorry, go ahead.
She loves keeping her stuff. She's very attached, or when she finds something she likes, she's going to keep it for as long as she can. And we just been working on her with that. And yeah,
Yeah, well, the boys are less conscious, so we just make things disappear.
they
But
have no clue.
the best time to do it is when you're washing, right?
Yeah.
So let them wear it. Don't take it off of them because then they'll know. Let them wear it. Go out there one last time looking all rough,
Not good.
not good. Say, come on, you put that dirty clothes. And then while you're washing clothes, those items they just disappear. But you're constantly adding and taking away. So for me, I like this spring. The weather has been great. We've been able to do a bit more walks.
Walking, yeah.
I guess my thing that I'm really obsessed with is trying to be healthy, right? So at my age, if you're not taking care of yourself, you are putting yourself in a position to where you may not live as long. That's something I'm always worried about as a parent, right? I have kids and I want to see my kids grow up. So I'm trying to do what I can to make sure that I'm healthy, but also I don't want to turn into someone who only eats like just grilled chicken and broccoli either. So it's a balance between health and also things that you enjoy. And that's something I'm always working on, trying to get back into the gym more, trying to walk more, run, all those things. And I recently, I did a post and I said that I'm in the gym, but it's a lot harder now because I'm trying to get back to my old self, but with my old self, right? I remember how I was. I was athletic, played college basketball, was a college cheerleader. And so, really athletic, all growing up, high school football, track, all those things. And then into my early adulthood years, still very active. And then now I'm a bit older and I can still do it. Some of it. I mean, I used to do backflips and all those things and dunk, and none of that's happening anymore. I could maybe pull off some of it, but I don't want to risk myself. I'm at that age now. It's like, I could, but should I? So I'm having to try to get back to where I was, but it's also not as easy. And then I used to could do something once or twice, and oh man, I see results. And now I have to do it a lot more to see results, and I have to be much more conscious about what I eat and all of those things. And so I'm not down to counting calories, a little bit. Yeah, I do count calories, but I'm not doing macros. But I am trying to maintain a certain amount of health, and that's really kind of what I want to get into with the really meat and potatoes of this particular podcast, where we talk about balance. And let's go through the different points of balance. So there's parenting, there's work, there's self, and then there's the relationship between each of us, right? But let's go back and just work our way through those four and get your opinion, your take on it. And we'll start with parenting.
So for parenting, like we mentioned already, it's just under 30 days left in the school year. So we're trying to keep the kids on track, on focus to finish the school year strong. These last 30 days can be very hard for them, just staying focused with them. And the weather is changing. They want to go outside. I don't want to do homework. Let's just go, go, go. So just reminding them of, hey, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to work on. Let me know if you need help with these different projects, or you need me to remind you that you have this assignment to do. So it's just definitely talking to them more about their homework, about the different assignments that they're working on. It's always great to hear about what they're learning in class and how they're interpreting the information that they're learning. Because, yeah, so Mac and I both have degrees in STEM STEM. And so we have very good backgrounds on biology and chemistry. And the kids know that, so they'll come to us and with these random questions, and we always have to answer these things and try to answer it in a way that they understand. But it's great to hear that they're learning these things, these topics in school now, and it's great to hear like their input on how they think things are going.
Yeah. So STEM, science, was it science, technology, engineering, mathematics is
Yes.
STEM, and so yeah, I have all my degrees are in biology. Biology, environmental science, and then I guess the last one would also be a biology. Again, in your degrees in
Engineering.
chemical engineering and engineering, and so that's our background. And so we're really strong in that, but we're also artistic, right? The arts are in there, but
He's talking about himself. He's
yeah,
not talking about me.
that's true. That's true.
I'm over here in the
That's true.
chemistry. I'll cook something for you. We can bake something.
Yeah.
The art and designing, that's
That's
all
true.
him.
Yeah, the arts. I guess the arts do
That's it.
coming from this side of the family. But the kids, they get a good blend. It's a well-rounded conversation when they come and they ask questions. We do end up getting to debate sometimes. That they'll come and they'll ask a question, and Blair feels as though it should be answered more from a chemistry standpoint. I'm thinking more of a biology, and so we get into those debates, those turf war type debates and
Yeah.
discussions. There's one thing that kind of got me a few months ago. Blake was working on a project, and I can't remember what it was. It was about the life cycle of something, and she described it, and you and I both were like, "Ugh, that's horrible. That's not how you do it." And then
Yeah.
she gave a very thorough explanation
For why she
of
said
why
it.
she labeled it was a city. She
Yeah.
had to relate a city to a cell, and
Yes.
she had named everything inside of the city for the functions as it relates to inside of a cell. And you and I didn't agree.
We did not
But she
at
had a
all.
good explanation for mitochondria does this and that's why this, and everything. The nucleus is this and that's why it's that. And so I was like, wow, okay,
Okay.
yeah,
I'll go with it.
I'll accept it. She had a thorough explanation. Not what I would have done,
Right.
not what you would have done,
No.
but she did it her way,
Yeah.
and it was right.
Yeah.
It was right. It's just not our right, and that's something that as parents we have to accept, right? That we put input into them,
Right.
but they get to decide how they develop that.
And also understanding that this is her first introduction to cell biology, and that this is the baby stage of her learning this. So it'll take a while before she gets to our level of
Yeah,
understanding.
yeah. But
But her
it's
foundations are good, so
Say
we're happy with that.
foundation is good. They're strong, and as strong as we are in the sciences, her favorite activity still is art.
It is. It
So,
is.
as scientists, of course, you think we want scientists. Scientists produce scientists, and we have an artist on our hands, and we're trying to support that, though,
Yeah.
right? I said I don't want to be the scientist parent who's like, no, you have to go and be an engineer, you have to do this. But I'm telling her there are ways that you could do art, and even if you're doing scientific illustration,
Right.
there's still ways you could get into it. You work that science back into
Right.
even her doing art. So parenting, but it's not just Blakely. She's the oldest. Then right up under her is Trey, and he's been having a really good year.
He
He's been
has.
having a good year. This is his first year in middle school, and so
He's had a lot of fun, had a lot of fun with picking his classes, had a lot of fun with his clubs.
he's in Bug Club, and
Yes.
every day after Bug Club, he gets in the car and he says,
So,
"Daddy, I ate a bug today." And I was like, "Why are you eating bugs?" And the teacher of a bug club keeps bringing in edible insects, and so
yes.
they're eating crickets and grasshoppers and
Yes.
mealworms, and spicy jalapeno crickets, and it's just
But that's fine. Just please don't offer them to me. I don't want
yeah,
them.
he keeps offering us bugs,
No.
and no,
Nope.
I'm not eating bugs. But what I did do, which because I had a strong love again degrees in biology, so we have a terrarium. We have a couple of terrariums set up, but I bought some nice small little arthropods to go into the terrarium, and I brought Trey in and said, "Hey, let's get these inside the terrarium." So knowing that he has an interest in bugs, I found a way to try to tie that into my love of science, which is more biology based as far as plants. And so I tied that into a terrarium, and he and I were working on that project together. And he took the insects and dumped them in the wrong place. I was like, "No, that's not what you do it." But that's the part of parenting to teach and try to find those commonalities, those common grounds to help him grow. It's probably still meant a bit more to me than it meant to him. He did it, and went on, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're at that age. But if I think back to the things that I did with my parents, there are things that at the time I wasn't paying as much attention, but then later on I look back on it and like, oh, that was pretty cool. So I'm hoping we have that experience that later in life he can look back and say, yeah, that was that one time
Yeah.
that my dad and we worked on the terrarium. Actually, it's not just one time, multiple
A lot of
times.
times.
Right. Some of it they'll remember, some of it they don't. Some of it will become background noise, but
Right.
it's all intended to help shape them and create who they are, and it'll be a foundation for them to build
To
off of.
grow off of.
And under Trey, there's Braden and Matthew, which are like the middle little boys, and right
Yeah.
there. And Braden is coming up at the end of elementary. Matthew's coming deep up into elementary, and they have some different needs and requirements. Whereas Blakely is almost on autopilot.
Right.
Trey is getting pretty much on autopilot with a lot of his stuff. Right now, you're spending most of your time actually working with Braden
Braden
and Matthew
Matthew, yes.
because they just need so much more. It's intensive. It's reading. It's intensive. It's understanding, and so that's kind of where that is from that teaching standpoint. Okay, I was a teacher for a brief period. Call me a sub, call me an interim, but I did teach for a little while coming out of school. And my first job before I got hired right out of college, out of grad school, was at Monroe City School District. So I was working with children who were like at risk of going down bad paths, and we had an afternoon program. We worked with them. So I'm a little familiar with working with kids. I've done it before, but in this case, we're working with our own, and we're trying to help shape them and keep them going in the right direction. It's not always easy, and under that is the last two, which Kenzie and Kai, and we're going to cover them separately.
Yes.
We're gonna come back to them because there's some stuff we want to get into about Kenzie and Kai, and I don't want to bog down everything else, but we're going to talk about it, right? Parenting and how that's going. I think we're doing okay. It's always you grade yourself, I guess, daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, and it's hard because you're watching the kids' grades.
Yeah, I'm watching the kids' grades. I'm watching their language development, how they're going. Kenzie has had a really big boom in her language development lately, and that's been great. But then also at times it's still a bit scary because she's barely 2 and she's
No,
saying
we're gonna come
things.
back to them twins. You ain't hear me. We're gonna come back to the twins, okay?
Yeah.
No, we ain't finna dig into them yet. So we did the older kids, and then we'll talk about the twins. We're gonna come back to that because that'll be the whole rest of this time. We're gonna save that. So there's parenting, and then there's work.
Right.
and you just got an award at work quite recently, and
Right.
that's hard to do, right?
Right.
Because let's get up and let's start out in the morning. We get up in the morning. You get up first,
Right.
and you're waking up the kids.
Right.
They're getting dressed.
Dress and then
Then I get
dressing the
up.
babies.
Then I'm getting dressed.
Yeah.
Then we're dressing the babies, and then it's get everyone in the car, get them all to school, drop them off at the different schools,
Yes.
drop off the first set at one school, drop off the next set. When I say set, this is Blakely and Trey, the oldest, and then Braden and Matthew in elementary. And then after we drop them off, we have to go and drop the twins off at their daycare. And after that, we go to work.
Right.
And it's hard, right? That's how you start in your day
Right.
with all of this running, and you have to hit your timelines because the kids have to be at school by a certain time. They can't be there before a certain time.
Right. Right.
And then I have meetings that start at a certain time in the morning. You have meetings that start at a certain time. So it's all this every morning, 5 days a week. It's this balancing act of getting from here to there and hitting all the points. And I don't know if you notice it, a lot of times when we're getting out of the car, we're sitting there right before we get to pick up the babies, I say, okay, let's keep going.
Right.
And that's my phrase. I just say, let's keep going.
Right.
Because that's the only choice we have is there's no breath, there's no breathing.
No.
Just keep going.
It's do and try to stay on focus. Try to remember, okay, which days do they have off? Which days do they need to be here? Okay, this one needs to be here this day. This one needs to be over here the next day. Yeah.
And
I
then,
think I need a chart.
well,
Probably
it's right here. I keep some of it on my phone, most of it's in my head. And then get to work, turn all of that off,
Right.
and then focus
On work.
on your job
Yes.
because that's what pays the bills, right?
Right.
YouTube doesn't pay any bills, not in this house.
No.
Maybe it may for other people, but not in this house. Our day jobs pay the bills, and that's what keep us going. So you have to keep what's the main thing. So we have to continue to stay focused on our jobs and make sure we're maintaining that. But that's a whole thing in and of itself. You have those jobs. Everyone has a job, right? Who's
Right.
working? You have responsibilities, requirements. You get taskings. You have timelines. You have deliverables. All of that has to happen
Right.
at work
Right.
through your day, every day.
Every day.
And then coming out of that, starts the reverse cycle of picking all those kids up
Yeah. Yes.
and pulling up to where we pick them up from, and some of them are there and some of them are not.
And then we have to remember, like, wait a minute, how many kids?
Yeah.
Do we have them all? No.
Like it's literally
missing?
count the kids and who's missing. Okay, who's not here? Who's missing?
Like where can they? Okay.
And okay, where's he at? Oh, Trey's not here. Where's he at? He's in Buck.
Oh, it's a bug
And
thing.
where's Braden? And it's literally how many do we have? We have 3. We need 4. The goal is to get to 4.
Yes.
And if we don't have 4, how do we get to 4? One day we should have had 4, and we didn't. We had 3. Trey missed the bus,
Right.
and I got a call from the school, and he was very upset that he had missed the bus. And I was like, okay, yeah, we're coming over there anyways because we had to go and pick up the twins. So it's just the goal is every day get to 4
Yes.
because we know where the 2 are at. The two.
The
The
twins.
twins, right? We know where they are. They can't get up and go and leave, but no one's dropping them off. They're there. We know where to go and get them. But the 4 every day, and some days there's 4, some days there's 3, some days there's 2,
It was 2
and then we have to
for a
go
little
and
bit.
figure out
Yeah.
how to collect those others. So there's parenting, there's work, and amongst it again, balance. And I'm not going to say that things are always in balance because I don't think they are. I think
No.
at times there's days when I say, oh, hey, I have an early meeting, or I have to do this today, and the balance will shift,
Right.
right?
Right.
And then it shifts to work, and we have to prioritize that.
Work over
Yeah.
everything. Yeah. And so we just are constantly in that balance and maintaining that balance for what is going to be the best for us at that time.
And so there's work, there's the kids, and then there's self, right? Because we're still individual people. And I think a lot of parents do make the mistake of turning their life wholly into just the parent aspect of
Right.
their life. Meaning, okay, I get my daughter over here, I have to take her to swim, I have to take her to this, I have to do that. I have to do everything I can to make sure she is a whole and complete person.
Right.
Which you should do,
Right.
but they do it to the exclusion of self.
Right.
And they turn off. And that can make you resent your kids, right? And
Right.
resent your life if you just turn off self. So how do you handle self, the part of your life, the part of you that's just Blair? What do you do?
So for me, I do. I don't know. It started with like just randomly watching different videos and how can I be a better person? How can I want to improve this aspect of my life. Like, oh, I want to smell good all the time. And that's what I've been working on. First, it was just a general like, okay, do I like my shower routine? Is it enough? Is it making me happy? Does my skin look the way, feel the way that I want it to feel? And then once I got through my shower routine and does my skin feel the way that I want it to feel, it was, do I smell good? Like I just asked Mac, I'm like, hey, do you like the way I smell? He's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I get to weigh in. I get to weigh in.
He does get to weigh in. I've found out that Mac likes being a lot of florals. I don't necessarily
Not
like
rose.
that. I don't necessarily like myself in a lot of florals all the time. So this past winter, it's been more vanillas and more marshmallowy type fragrances. But we're going into spring, and spring should for me I think should either be like more fresh scents or more floral scents. So right now I've been wearing kind of heavy on the floral, and that's why he's saying I don't necessarily like the rose because that's all I've been wearing is rose. But we got to try it out so we know what we like, so we know what he likes, what I like, what makes me feel good about it, and learning more about these different fragrances.
So that's how you would define your aspect for self for you is fragrances.
Fragrances and self-care.
Okay.
More is self-care for
Okay.
me.
More
Smelling
self
good.
care. So like I remember I bought this one for you. I bought that
Yeah.
one with birthday.
That was a while ago. So
I would have
yeah.
claimed that I started this whole
He
thing.
did. He
Because
did
I
because he
bought
started this a
this is
while
the
ago.
Gucci floral. I bought this one
Right, a Florida
and
magnolia.
it just kind of it went a lot of places.
Yeah, yeah.
It's gone a lot of places from there.
Yeah.
But it's cool because that's kind of what you need to have a segment of something that you focus on that's not kids, not work, not me. You know, that you care about for yourself, and you're into fragrances, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Because what man is going to complain if their wife smells good?
Yeah.
Like, oh, she's into fragrances. Ugh, nah. Unless though, because we do spend a lot of time in Sephora, and if you get to watching those prices, sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're measured with it and balanced, and it's not outrageous. It can, I think, anything can get outrageous. It's not outrageous.
Yeah.
And it smells good.
It
So
smells good. I like it. I also tried this Burberry Her, and I really liked it. Oh, I'm sorry, it's Burberry Goddess. I've tried Burberry Goddess. I really like it. It's just lavender and vanilla. Funny thing is, we also have like lavender and vanilla wall fragrances.
That's true.
So I walked in one day and I was like, why does the house smell like me everywhere? Like, why? I didn't spray anything in here. And then I finally realized, like, oh, it's the wall fragrances. They smell so close to my perfume that I really like that one. I have to go back and get it again.
yeah, we were at Selfridges yesterday, and you're walking through the perfume area, and a lady handed me one of those little sticks with this. They sprayed some of the cologne on it, and I smelt it, and I was like, oh, I don't like that. And because of just exposure to what Blair's talking about and her going through this exploration, I was like, oh, I don't like this peppery, which is not a phrase that I would have ever used.
Yes, yes.
7 months ago, it's like I would never say it was peppery, but it's just kind of learning just a little bit of what she's kind of into,
Yeah.
and so I did not care for that scent too much. But yeah, I've gotten a couple new colognes out of the deal again. So I've gotten a couple new colognes. I have what am I wearing? It's
Burberry Hero.
yeah, I'm wearing Burberry Hero. Then the boys said they wanted cologne, so I'm like, well, Trey's wearing a Versace cologne, and then Braden has an Armani. Matthew has an ass, and Braden has an Armani, which he doesn't put on very often, but he wanted to get it, and I didn't mind buying it for him because if they don't wear it, I'll wear it. I used to wear the Versace anyways.
Right.
So I have a Lacoste, and then we're going back and forth between a Lacoste and the Burberry, and the boys trade once in. We told them just one
Yes.
little and that's
Yes.
it, right? But again, who minds if you smell good, if your kids smell good, your wife smell good? Like, I'm not gonna.
Right.
That's nothing I'm ever gonna complain about. But they've asked for the colognes. Like, okay, because I remember when I started wearing cologne, I was a little older, but it was a cologne called Cool Water. I don't even know if Cool Water still exists anymore. But
don't know.
yeah, Cool Water cologne. And before that it was just Old Spice, right? So
Wow.
it's evolved, but I think that's really cool. I try to support it by Boom, Blair asked me how do I like this smell. I don't lie. I just say, hey, I like this one. I don't like that one. But also support it by just kind of staying out of it a little bit and just let her have her space and try not to get into it. That's what she's doing, what she enjoys, and it, again, is I don't have any issue with it because it kind of lends to a home that smells nice. It lends to children that smell good
Yeah.
because children can stink.
Well,
Come on,
yes.
come on. And you have to stay on them to bathe. You have to stay on them
Yes.
to make sure that they take care of themselves. And then they get in the car. If it's one of those hot days, they've been playing outside.
You're like,
I gotta roll down the windows.
like
Like
everybody.
everyone smells like grass and outdoors. If you know
Yes.
what I'm talking about, grass and outdoors.
Yes. So that was fun. It was a cool experience. It was very different when Trey came and asked, can I wear cologne? I'm like, what?
Yeah, yeah. That's and then Braden came and the scents that I bought, I made sure that all the scents was things that I liked because I also don't want my sons wearing things that I don't agree with. So that I kind of we picked scents that we thought that were kind of light and would match. So if they don't wear it though, I would just swoop those up and then I'll have them because I like those scents that our money was really our money code. I think that
Yeah.
was that's what we bought for
That was
Braden.
a nice
I
one.
really like that
Yeah.
one. We have a Tom Ford upstairs and it is so strong.
That turned into a room spray.
We use it as a room spray. I mean, I can never wear it. It's a beautiful Tom Ford. It's a great scent, but it is just so strong. We literally use it as
So it's a room spray. One squirt. That's
one
it.
squirt. It is a room spray.
it.
The room is fragrance for a long
2, 3
time.
days.
Yeah, yeah. It's a really strong scent. So that's kind of what Blair's doing for self. For me, I kind of talked about. Well, what else are you doing? I don't want to cut you off. Is there anything else that you're doing with?
There's been that. I said the whole showers and a little bit more into shower gels. I have been looking for like a body butter, but it's like I said, it's going into the summertime, and so that's a bit heavy. I'm not really focused on that because that just makes me sweat. So just smelling good and a little bit of makeup as well, but something quick, easy, and lightweight for the summer. So I've been exploring skin tints or skin tint moisturizers for myself, and just yeah, just trying to make sure I look good all the time.
Yeah. Again, who's complaining about that? Not me. For me, it's been a little different where I used to do music, right? So I played the piano at a church for different churches, minister music, and I did that for many years. And that kind of was my self-expression. And I haven't been doing that so much. Practice every now and again. But it's shifted. My working out is one because I work out typically by myself late at night or early in the morning. Whenever I'm working out, there's kind of a moment in time that I get to focus in on me and just myself. There's that. I still watch anime typically when I'm working out by myself, listen to things. So that works out really well, and I enjoy that. And then I've also been really digging deep into. I started doing polymer clay with Blakely. With the kids, I started out at needle felting. The first time I ever did needle felting was when we moved over here, so back in 2020. And needle felting morphed over time into polymer.
It was the most random like habit. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna teach myself this," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay."
And so now I'm making little things like this, this little doll. And these are replicas of a doll that's sold, and theirs is made out of plastic. And these are all made out of polymer clay and different glazing.
It's really good.
Yeah, actually, this one, I actually had to look at this one twice
Yeah.
to recognize, like, is this the real one or is this the one that I made? And it's like, nope, that's the one that I made because the cookie's different. And so that's kind of something that I've gotten into, and it's it's a skill that you learn, and it's looks easy, but it's not because you have to take these and you have to bake them in stages because it's clay, and if you pack all this clay on top of each other and don't bake it in stages, it'll just kind of mush down. And I've had to learn that. And yeah, it's just really a lot of fun. And it's finally getting to the point that when I'm done with it, it looks like something that's, presentable. Unfortunately, though, the house is getting filled up with tons of
It's filled with
yeah,
tons of
mantle. I have 2 mantles just covered in these, and these are the most recent designs that I've been doing. And then I've thrown away the other ones, and then Kenzie grabs them and Kai plays with them. We're gonna talk about those twins a little later. Still, they've destroyed a couple of them because they'll smash them. Because again, they're clay and they've been baked, but this one has resin on it, which makes it a little harder. It has a plastic coating on it, a resin, which makes that a little harder. But these, if you drop this, just consider it like dropping glass. It's just gonna shatter. But that's something I've been doing, and it serves no purpose in the sense that I think that the things that you do for self should not be something that's necessarily has to have an end goal of I'm doing this so I can make money. I'm doing this so I can sell it. I'm doing this. If it turns into something that you're doing to make money or something that you can sell, then it's not self anymore. Now
Right.
it's another form of
It's just a job.
job, right? These I'm not making to sell. I don't even know what I'm doing with them. I make them because I'm enjoying the process of learning how to make them and how to put the pieces together. And it's not always what you would think about how do we get this look and how do you make a bow? There are a lot of ways to do it and developing my own techniques. There has no overall purpose aside from this the fact that I get to self-express myself. And so I think that is good that you focus on things for self that are just, it doesn't have any other purpose besides you get gratification out of it and it makes you happy. And if it makes you happy and it doesn't hurt anyone else, right?
Right.
And you can do it,
Right.
then that's a good thing that you could focus on to try to help with balance. When you get time to do it, I don't have a lot of time to do these. Sometimes these might take a week or two to complete because it's just when I have those moments in time, those breaks between everything else, and let me sliver out a bit of time and then I will do this. I guess the last thing that I do for self is not really self anymore, which is the video work with the YouTube and all of the video work that we do across all the channels and everything. I mean, that's turned into a bit of cinematic self-expression. I try to get better with the videos that I post. Not like this one. This is just a sit-down video, but we're going places and like, how can I get better shots? How can I do, how can I tell a story better about what our experiences are and what we're trying to do? And so that ties into it a little bit. But since there is some money associated with it, pennies associated with it, I won't say it's completely devoid of any intention to try to make it something that could turn into more.
But
These, I'm not ever trying to sell, I'm just trying to do it.
right. But I do love that, like, with all of his different hobbies and things that he's worked on, he's always like incorporated the kids or tried to incorporate the kids, and they all have different levels of wanting to do these things. Like, Blakely mentioned this summer, oh, I want to take a piano. It's just a summer course for a couple of days, and she's like, oh, let me see about learning the piano. I think that was kind of cool. She has worked on it some at home, as have all the kids. They worked on learning how to play the piano a little bit. Then as far as because she's our artist, so she with the needle felting. We came home one day, and she had picked up the needle felting, and her dad had done SpongeBob, and she did Patrick.
No, I did. I think it was another character. She did
Another
Pikachu.
character. Yes.
Yeah, different. Yeah, it's a different line,
Oh,
but yeah,
completely
yeah. She just
different.
picked up and
Yes.
just picked
She
it up
just
and
did it.
just did it because she's the
And
artist. Like as good as this looks, if she was doing it, it will look 5 times better. I have some of the works because I do sit down and I do sessions with the kids where we'll do polymer clay and I say, okay, we're gonna make this. And one of the first things I've made the kids are like hamburgers. Hamburgers are really easy, and so we made hamburgers together. Matthews is in his room right now,
yeah.
and then over the winter we did the snowmen, which all of ours looked horrible except for Blakely's. Her snowman looked good.
Yeah.
Mine looked bad, and it's just. But it's all of that. Those are projects that we do together. So I do try to, and then that propelled me like, oh, if I'm going to teach them, I have to learn more, and that kind of just pushed me deeper into
Right.
learning how to do it. But yeah, those are just kind of ways to tie into self and
Yeah. And then
supporting everyone else. So,
right, to support everybody else. And then of course the YouTube turns into us and family memories. And I know everybody's like, oh, you could just digitize. So yes, everybody has a ton of videos and a ton of little short things on their phones. And sometimes they get to see them and sometimes they organize them. And now we have multiple videos of things that we've done and things that we've done together as a family or as a couple, or him just on his own he's done, and we can go back and watch that. And one of the coolest things is when like the twins and their reactions and stuff. Like,
yeah. With Kenzie, when I get sometimes I get a little discouraged with the social media. It's a lot of work and the videos. It is a lot of work. Tremendous amount of hours spent to just create one video, because sometimes you get an error in the programming and it won't work. It won't render. And I spent one time I lost a week, a couple weeks ago, I lost a week just trying to fix one error in one video. And because that video had the whole computer locked up, I couldn't do anything. You get discouraged. But I was sitting on the couch and Kenzie was watching one of our videos and she was just this cheesy grin on her
Yeah.
face and she was just locked in on that. And I was like, okay, that's motivation. Another thing I've done recently was my dad did video work, and I've been able to go back and recapture some of his videos and republish some of his work, and that meant so much to some family members because one of my great uncles, which is their great grandfather, was in this video. My dad shot this video in 1997, and so I put that out on the channel. So for the sole purpose of letting those family members have access to it, and they live all across the, they live everywhere, people all over the place, and I don't know everyone who would have liked that, but they found it and then they all enjoyed it and they shared it and they spread it. And my dad had filmed it, and so they really appreciated the fact that I put that video out there, and I have some more stuff like that too. I'm going to go through that this summer. We're going to go back to the States for a while, and I'm going to go through more of my dad's old footage to see. I consider it to be kind of archival footage and kind of a, in a time frame, because it's late 90s is when he was doing a lot of his film work. And so I'm like, wow, this is just something that's really great. And I've been able to go back and take things that he filmed, and it does. My dad died several years ago, but so it's really wonderful to be able to go back and hear his voice and then see how he interpreted videography and how he used it. So it's kind of tied into it. Yesterday I asked the kids, we were out, and I said, okay, who wants to learn how to edit videos? And they hesitated, like, I don't know. Then they all thought about it, and a couple of them was like, yeah, I do it. I want to learn. So now I have to figure out how do I go about teaching this to the kids, because I throw it out there and I don't know how to teach it, right? Because I've been learning this independently. I didn't go to school for film or cinematography or any of those things, mass communications, none of that. I started filming in college because I just picked up a camera, I think because my dad had it. So I have some footage from the early 2000s, and that's never going to see the light of day because it is absolutely horrible and crazy.
Yeah.
But I was filming while I was in college a little bit. So I have some clips there.
I wonder what quality is it? Like if most stuff is 1080 or 4K now,
Oh, we're
like
talking.
what is that?
320 is probably what the quality is. But
Yeah.
my dad's work came out so well. The computers, it upscaled the work. It
Yeah,
upscaled his stuff because
did.
it made it look really good, because like it didn't look that good when he filmed it, but it filled in all his pieces, took out a lot of the grain, and it looks good. So the film work and because that's kind of what I consider this to be. I consider it to be film work, not the sitting down, but when we're going places and we're filming those videos, and because I'm having to think about it like a cinematographer from the standpoint of, okay, what shot do I want? Okay, you guys walk this way, and I try not to impose on the family too much. I try not to prop the family, such as stand here and everyone turn this way and everyone do this, and I try not to do that because I know that can just feel unauthentic, and I try to just let them go and do what they're doing, and then just try to catch those moments as they happen. And I will say it is fun to go back and put it together and look at it, because some of the things that we filmed, I've already forgotten them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh wow, I don't even remember us doing that.
Or definitely seeing the kids' reactions to different things. Like he might be speaking, talking in the video, and you have a kid behind you making all kind of faces and doing all this kind of stuff that you don't know about at all until you go back and you're editing and you're like, come look at this.
Yeah, and I find the kids, Blakely, Trey, that they're doing that, and so it does become a bit of an archive for us, and hopefully for them in the future that they'll have this to be able to come back and look at and have those experiences and can see themselves. And even this summer, we're going to go to the States, and I'll say this here for the first time, we're really considering doing a daily challenge where we're going to potentially, maybe for 30 days, publish a video every single day. And that's going to be hard. That's going to be a challenge. But I'm thinking about doing that. My nieces and nephews, they want to get a lot of filming done. I've been teaching them a little bit as well, and they're looking forward to it. So that's something maybe coming up on the channel through the summer. That's self. That's what I'm working on with self. And then I guess I can ask this question. It's kind of hard to ask this question in front of everyone. But lastly is each other in relationship. I'm going to let you go first.
Just throw it out there. For us and each other relationship, it's us talking to each other. It's us, for me, it's us talking to each other. It's spending time together. It's hard to find those moments in time, but we do. It's kind of funny. Like every night we watch an episode of one of Abbott Elementary. And that's our time together where we get to sit and we're watching it together. We've always tried to have some TV show, or mostly TV shows throughout our marriage, that we've watched together. That if I watch it by myself, it's not gonna go well if he hears about me watching an episode by myself. So that time I really appreciate that. I really appreciate having like a commonality in shows. Y'all don't know, like our likes and taste on TV shows is nowhere near the same.
I can't
So
watch 90% of the shit I said.
like,
And we're not even talking. Look, we're not talking
nothing
lifestyle. We're
deep.
talking like true crime and just rent.
Yeah,
It's what her interests are, not mine.
it's not
And
his.
my interests, not hers. Because
He wants to watch
I'm all into
sci-fi,
sci-fi, and she can watch. She can look at a
and
little
the
sci-fi.
sci-fi I like,
She won't look at it
he
unless it's post-apocalyptic. If it's a
yeah,
post-apocalyptic, she'll watch
post-apocalyptic
it.
dystopian is what I
Dystopian, she'll look
watch.
at it. Other than that,
I don't want to see it.
yeah. And then I watch a lot of anime. So yeah, so we have a hard time finding common ground. But right now we're about to finish Abbott Elementary, one episode, and that's how we stretch it over months. We
Right.
started watching it, we'd only let ourselves look at one episode, and it's not every day, of course. Whenever we get the time to look at it, but it's only one episode, and so that's lasted for months. But I think we only have like maybe 3 or 4 more episodes left. We're into the
Right.
fourth season of Abbott Elementary. I know this seems like a bit random, but yeah, we like
Yeah.
it. It's a good little show.
Yeah.
It's a funny,
And if
quirky show.
and if I can remember all the different shows we've watched together, there's no rhyme or reason, or I don't even know the logic of what made him watch it with me, because sometimes they seem completely left field for him to watch. So
Yeah. So yeah, it's just a part of togetherness, right? Blair's right. It is hard though with the work, the kids to find, and self, right? You have all those things going, and then find but that's it's the same time. At the same time, we can't allow ourselves to like not. All of this was built. Everything is built off the foundation of us having a relationship that works together, right? So if our relationship doesn't work together, then the whole house of cards falls down.
Right.
Let's just be honest, right? Because that's how you end up where you're not married, where you're not together, where the house is divided, or there is no house. If you can't keep the foundational relationship together, then you're not going to be able to build everything else that you're trying to build. So it's at the base. It's the last one we talked about, but in many ways, it's the most important because if we can't keep our relationship strong, then it's going to bleed into the relationship with the kids. It's going to bleed into your relationship at work. It's all going to play together. And so, no pressure, but at the same time, yeah, that's what we try to do. We recently got the kids the twins, fully kicked out of our bedroom. They're fully into their bedroom,
yeah,
not in our room.
yeah,
They have their own bedroom. They have their own twin size beds, and
yeah,
that has been great because they just kept coming in a room and taking over the bed.
yeah.
So for the first year and a half, especially after they were about 6, 7 months, I just slept on the floor. Slept on the floor, curled up on the floor. I had this really nice rug I bought in Afghanistan many years ago. It's thick. It's like I don't know what the material is, but
Camel?
it's no, it's not camel. The camel we have a camel, but this was like really really soft rug. So it's like a nice soft mat. I just sleep right there. So, but I'm back in the bed. The kids are out of my room and they've stopped coming to our room.
Yeah.
And they're now comfortable sleeping in their room. And so that's where the twins are. So that helps as well, just getting those little ones out of our bedroom.
Right.
So that's where we are in relationships and how it is together. And there's more elements. We'll talk more, I think, about relationships as we
Yeah.
continue to delve into it. But
What did it do? Interrupt him.
okay, we've never had that happen before. It talked so long that the camera's overheated and turned off.
And turned off.
It just
and, like,
cut off.
never mind.
You're like, no, you're done. You're done.
That's
But
enough.
yeah, but we're not. We're gonna finish this podcast.
Right.
We're gonna finish this. We were finishing up talking about relationships, and I was just about to move into like the table is a mess. As you can see, there's stuff
Yeah.
everywhere, and it's because we have kids, and we have a lot of them, and they read a lot of books.
And just so you know, in the room that we're sitting in, this is our dining room. And so on either side of it is 2 bookcases.
3
Okay, there's 2 on, and then there's a
there's-
bookcase in front of me as well.
bookcase
So it's
here,
bookcases,
bookcase here, and a bookcase there,
bookcases,
and they're all filled with
all kinds of books.
It's more of a library than it is
Yeah.
a dining room. And so, yeah, I was going through them and I was trying to decide. I was looking and saying, okay, are the kids even reading all these books?
Right.
And so I was filtering back through some of these books, and this is by no means all of them. And I was having a moment because this book popped up to me.
This is our second version of this book because we had to rebuy it because the other book was so old and worn and torn about that.
Brown Bear, what do you see? They literally reread this book over
So
and over until it
much.
fell apart. And we
Yes.
recently had to buy this one. We rebought this book, and this is what the baby's like. And this is Kenzie's other favorite book. That's Not My Squirrel,
Yeah.
because it has this little touchable. Every page is something like fuzzy
Yeah.
on it, and the different parts of the squirrel, and she loves touching on it. And this is one of her favorite. I love the tail. It actually feels nice. But That's Not My Squirrel is one of the
Yeah.
books that she's enjoying a lot right now.
Right. She started with that, and then it went to Brown Bear, Brown Bear, and then we're kind of on to the Very Hungry Caterpillar. It's just now starting, so we'll let you know how that's going.
I Don't Want to Be a Frog. I like this book.
I
This
think
is one.
Matthew loves that book.
Matthew did like this. This is one of
Yeah.
my favorites because I love the storytelling, and it's really helping the little frog come to grips with who he is, a frog,
He's a frog
and he has to learn that it's okay
to be a frog.
to be a frog.
Yeah.
And so Matthew really enjoyed that book,
Matthew
and
loved
I like it. And then
Then we had four boys, or now we have four boys, and I didn't understand it when my husband brought these books home. I thought that was disgusting. Like, why would we talk about that in open company? But he wanted to talk about Pig and Pig the Slob. And Pig, we have several Pig books.
Pig the pug. Oh, that dog's
He's a
bad.
mess.
Yeah, he's
He's a complete mess. He's always doing stuff. He's always doing stuff, and usually he's not the
he's a
nicest
slob. Is
smell.
this a slob?
This is Pig the Slob.
Yeah,
Yes.
and so I have boys, right? We have
Yes.
boys,
So a lot of our
and so
books are
I find the books that get their attention
yes.
is Pig the Slob. We have several Pig books, and every one of them, Pigs, he's a rough little character.
Pig's doing some
Pig's
stuff.
doing some things. And so as we scale it up, I recently purchased this book, which is Eatopedia.
Yeah.
And it talks about an encyclopedia of how animals eat, digest, and poo.
Again, we have boys.
They like this stuff. They'll get
They
into
like
it.
it.
It's just purely a scientific book because
is.
it goes
It
through
is.
seriously all of the
Digestive, yeah.
digestion tracts of all the different animals and how they eat it. As the title says, the different stomachs, and it's actually a very good book.
Yeah.
But the titling allowed me to kind of slide it in.
Yes.
And the boys were kind of like, oh, that looks
what
interesting.
is
Talking
that?
about poo. Anything talking about poo.
I want to.
Up under that is the old classic book right there, which is
Yes. How to eat fried
How to Eat Fried Worms. I read that in school.
Yeah.
And so we have an insane amount of books.
And then there's always, of course, the
Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss.
This is the
and
big red book.
This is Big Red Book, and
We have
the Big Blue Book.
Yeah, we have a lot.
And just in case if you didn't know, this is Frog and Toad on his chest.
That is Frog and Toad.
We do have the book,
I got this at Target.
which
And we do have the larger Frog and Toad book.
yes.
That is a classic in this house.
I think he was just buying the book as like a table book, like just a display. Just it's a look good book. And then we found out that Trey had read
One
all
of the stories, and then this was deeper. It gave like because
Yeah.
we had the big one has all of the Frog and Toad
Yes.
stories in it, and he'd read one of them. He's like, "Oh, I read that," and then you got to look at it.
Yes.
I can read this one. Read it. And so,
Yes.
of course, you could tell reading
is a
and
thing.
I heard this story a long time ago. And I don't know if it's true. This is even before we had kids. It's more of a stat. There's something that said about kids that grow up with books in their home tend to do better as far as I think going to college and those things. So from day one, I've bought books, and we actually have a library of books.
Yes.
But these are just some of them. And we may talk about a bit more about some of our favorites to
Right.
help other parents out. Blakely,
Zoe Sassafras.
Blakely reads these.
Yeah.
She's enjoyed them. She's kind of grown out of them a little bit.
Yeah, we got those are like her first chapter books.
Yeah, Zoe
that's what the
Sassafras,
first thing-
and of course Trey's classic British. Blakely,
Yes.
this was required reading for Blakely and Trey
Right.
this year or last
Last
summer.
summer.
Last summer.
Yeah.
We required reading last summer for Blakely and Trey,
Yeah.
and they both had to read the first book. Is this the first one? They had to read the first
Yes.
book. Trey is now on to the third book
Right.
of Harry Potter. And what's been great, he finished the first book. He's like, "Hey, Daddy, can you give me the second Harry Potter book?" I was like,
Right.
"Yeah." So I gave him the second one, and then he came back. Can you go and get me the third Harry Potter book? I'm like,
Yeah.
"All right then," because each Harry Potter book gets a little bigger, a little denser, and it gets a little wild at the end. But so far, he's doing really good. He's on his own. Reading Harry Potter, which is a wonderful
Right.
series, and he's really getting into that. And then I went through my unicorn phase where I was,
Unicorns and spitting out, pooping out, all
yeah,
kinds of
yeah,
things.
unicorns are doing a lot. If you don't know, unicorns are really different
Yes.
than
What they used to be
than what
back
they
in
used
the
to be.
day.
They're very dynamic creatures now.
Yes.
So we have a lot of books, and
So we have a lot of books. We encourage the kids to read a lot of different book series. Like we mentioned, Trey is reading the Harry Potter series. Blakely is reading some anime series.
yeah, she's reading manga. She's in a couple manga series. Comey Can't Communicate is
Yeah.
one that she's reading right now, and
Family.
Spy Family.
Yeah.
Those are the two little
That-
manga series that she's reading. And if you're gonna have your kids read manga, please do some research on that. Don't just go buy any manga that you see and hand it to your child. Those topics range from childlike to the most extreme adult material. So you can't just give your kid any anime manga related book. You have to talk to the staff, talk to the staff, and make sure that whatever you're getting them is something that's more child age appropriate. You just have to consider that. But yeah, I've already went through those series. It's both of them really hard, and so they're good and safe for her.
Yeah.
She enjoys both of those series. It's just,
Right.
yeah.
Braden and Matthew. Braden started on the Captain Underpants.
They started on Captain Underpants,
Yeah.
and they left that quickly,
Oh.
and they moved into
Dog Man.
Dog Man.
Yeah.
And they never did really get into Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
No.
We bought it for them, and they read a little bit of it, but they didn't get into that. But yeah,
But
Dog
Dog
Man
Man.
and not Kitty Quest,
No.
but
Bunny
this is
and Monkey
Braden
versus
reads
Monkey.
so much Bunny and Monkey. We've been buying him in this series, and then the cool thing is, since we've been buying him this series, he's been reading all of these Bunny and Monkey books. He had an opportunity. He had 20 pounds, just about $25 to go to school, and they had a book fair at school, and he bought the two next books in this series on his own with his money. He took it and he bought books because there were other things he could have bought. There were toys and things that they could have bought that day, but he came home like, "Hey, Dad, I got a couple more Bunny
Right.
versus Monkey books." I'm like, that's it.
cool.
And these are like comic style books. They're not really complicated, not really deep. And I think that they're good from the standpoint of they just give you reading repetition. The storylines are they're childish, right?
Right.
But they're for children. And it's not the most complex, but once they grow out of this is getting that foundation, comfortable reading. And then over time, we'll take him who just turned 10, and then a couple years we'll have him into the Harry Potter. So we scale it up and it just kind of keep it going. Cornrows by Camilla Yarbrough. This is something we always try to tie into because Blakely wears her hair like that often. And we thought this was a really good book to add into the collection.
Right.
And so it's a broad, diverse spectrum of books.
Books.
How to build Lego
Lego.
animals. I mean, it's a library in here.
It really
and the kids
is.
come in and they have a great time and they pick. But I do try to go back and I'm like, oh, are they reading these books? And so I'm gonna be quizzing them here pretty soon. And some of these I may force them to reread just to make sure I'm getting my money's worth out of it. I bought these books. These books should be read. They're not here for me to enjoy looking at. Now let's talk about the terrible twos because our twins will be 2 at the end of this month.
Yes.
They've destroyed several books, not just by writing on them, but by literally
Oh no, they just tore it
ripping
apart.
them apart. And so we have 2
It's different.
babies in the house, and we have 6 children in total.
Yes.
And you would think that with the experience that we've had with 4 children
Yes.
previous to these 2,
Yes.
that we know what we're doing and we could handle it. And these twins have set us back to square one.
Square one. I'm like, again, every day I'm saying I'm glad that y'all are not my first and second.
Because we would have had
Because
no
we
more.
wouldn't have had any more after these.
Oh my gosh.
Like, they're a new level of like,
Yeah,
and it's one toddling after behind the other, and
yeah,
you say come here, and they go the opposite way.
yeah.
They giggle at you and then run, and they go as far as they can from you. Turn around and look at you
Yes.
and want to talk.
Yeah.
Like, no,
Yeah.
no.
They won't cut. So we're working on recall. Because
Yes,
like
yes, and we said it just like
yeah,
that.
we're working on
Yes,
recall so that when we call them, they'll come to us. We're working on
yes,
that. Kai is intentionally going in opposite directions. He gets in the
yes.
vehicle in the morning and he takes off one shoe
The same shoe
and the same shoe,
every
and
day.
he laughs about it. He's doing it on purpose. It's a game to him to take this shoe off. That means when you get out of the car, you have to put that shoe back on him every day. And they're mischievous. I guess
Yes,
that's the right term for
yes.
them.
And we won't, and we're not just all putting this on Kenzie because for everything that Kenzie does, Kai is right over there doing something else that like we've never had this issue before.
We haven't. Because we have older children, we have crayons and pencils and markers in the house. We had an abundance of crayons and pencils and markers. And like this,
These are color
these are
pencils.
color pencils. These are the last things that are left in the home
Yes.
because Kenzie,
Kenzie thinks she can write.
oh, she thinks she has
She's
written
a
on so many things.
artist.
It started with crayons.
Yes.
So we got rid of all the crayons
Yeah.
because she was going over. She'd hit the walls. She'd
Yeah.
hit whatever she could touch.
Yeah.
And you say, "Oh, well, give her paper. Let her color." She gets paper.
No, and
She
she
colors on
colors right
paper,
on off the
and she'll go
paper.
right off that paper, right up the wall, across the chair. Recently, we had a situation where I went through in the house. I scrubbed the house. I tried to get rid of everything. We scrubbed the house at least 3 times already, and she found a red Sharpie and a black Sharpie.
Yes.
And she was out of our sight. It couldn't have been more than 10 minutes.
Nope.
And she hit a suede chair and it is destroyed. And she hit a dresser and another dresser.
Yeah.
She hit a stool. And when I say she hit, I mean she graffitied these things down.
Yes.
And we've been trying to get it off the chairs. And so then got those pens thrown away. If you hear the emotion in my voice, because today she found another. I don't know where she found this ink pen.
Yeah.
It wasn't an ink pen. It was another marker. She found a marker today, and I thought she had like maybe yogurt on her legs. I didn't realize she had drawn on herself.
Yeah.
It's like a silvery white color,
Yeah.
and she hit some other stuff today as well. And it's just where she's spawning markers. I don't know where she's finding them.
Funny.
They're just somehow, and I don't know where they're coming from.
Yeah. So they're definitely making us do a spring cleaning of sorts and go through the house and find and throw away all the markers. We used to say, oh, it's okay if it's washable. And we're just like, no, we don't really care what it is. Get it out.
Out of the house, and they'll come back in a couple of years. When
Yes.
we can get them past this current
Yes.
stage. But Blair's right. If you get to focusing in on what Kenzie's doing too hard, you're gonna miss Malachi, and he's into some stuff.
He's into stuff. You just not paying attention because he's quiet with it. Okay. He came in this morning and they can reach their drawer that has their cups in it, but he didn't take out their cups. He took out their lids. He took out all their lids and just took them in the living room. But we're not going anywhere. So
Yeah.
why do you have a lid?
Yeah.
So now there are lids all over the house.
So when he's hungry, he will go into his drawer because he know where to keep, and he get the bowls, and you're sitting down, and he comes and he slams the bowl. He doesn't just place it no, he slams the bowl in front of you. It's like, feed me now.
Yeah.
He didn't use a lot of words, but it's very direct
Yes.
what he's getting at.
Kai is also the one that like I never appreciated. The kids feel trapped. And
Yeah.
they don't necessarily like it because we turn on the door locks, but we have to
Yes.
because Kyle rolled
He's
out
opened
the
the
window.
door a couple times in the vehicle.
Yes.
So I have to keep the child locks on because he will open the door
Yes.
and he will roll down the window.
Yes.
So the child locks stay on constantly. You cannot. You keep an eye on him.
Yes.
Watch the little boy, and keep your eye on the little girl, and they're going in opposite directions.
Yes.
Watch them both at the same time because if you take an eye off of them, they're into something. And I would say if they get quiet, they're always Kenzie's very loud, but Kai is
Yes.
always quiet.
Yes.
He's a very quiet child. So he'll get you because you're not paying attention. And yeah, they can be very well. You love them
They're
because
great.
you're gonna
They're
love
keeping
them
us on
because
our
they're
toes.
definitely gonna you're definitely gonna love them. You're gonna love them.
Yes.
I was gonna throw the suede chair away, And I had a coworker. He's like, no, no, no. He's like, no, do not throw away that suede chair. That is her chair. It
Oh,
goes in her room, and she keeps it till she's 18. So as she gets older, and she's like, why is this chair with all this crap drawn all on it? And like, no, that's your chair.
that's
You did that. And he's
hilarious.
like, keep it, because I was gonna like trash it because like it's suede. You can't get that ink out of suede.
Yeah.
It's like as soon as you wet, it's just gonna smudge everywhere and
Yeah.
smear. You'll never be able to clean that. And that's what we're dealing with.
That's what we're dealing with.
That's what we are.
Intermixed with a little bit of language to go with it. She
Yeah.
wants to talk and have conversation.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah. Today, Kenzie asked me I got it for the first time just today, just earlier. Uh, the what you doing question, which is still it's really kind of mumbled in there. I was cleaning some stuff up. Cause she comes to the door. She's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, she's kind of asking like, what you doing? And I explained it. Then came the next question because Blakely already prepared it for it's a 1-2 question. What you doing? Followed by why. You'll notice when you get to the why as you start your parental explanation,
yes.
they're not
It
listening.
doesn't matter.
They don't care.
Doesn't matter.
But you still have to answer.
Yep.
Because if you don't answer, they just keep repeating it.
Yes.
But as soon as you start to answer,
They're
they
off.
lose interest.
They're off to the next. And yeah.
Yeah.
It just happens. We have it with them. They're about to be 2, and we also experience it at the older levels as well. Like they're asking,
Yeah.
why do you do this, or why is this
Yes.
this?
Yeah. Blake is still asking why, and there's a more in-depth why. So
Yeah.
she was asking why yesterday we were out, and every time we want to do something, well, why do you want to go over there? Why do you want to do this? And it wasn't a belligerent why do you want to? Well, why do you want to do that? No, no, no. It was why do you want to go over there?
Right.
Why do you want to do
Why do
this?
you want to go in
Why
the
do you
store?
think and everything? Why do you want to go in that store? I'm like, can I just go in the store, please? Can I just go in the store? Well, why do you want to go in there? And it's just
Like-
she's trying to understand all of our motivations and what we're trying to do and why we're doing it. So she wants to know that. So we have the little one on one end asking why, we have the other one on the other end asking why, and everything in between.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
It's
constant.
a good time.
It is, and all you can do is just say that it's a good time and just keep going.
Yeah.
And just keep going. But hey, if we don't cut this off, we'll just keep going.
We will, and that'll be another hour from now.
At least,
So-
and the camera probably turn back on,
Camera
on us
turn
again.
on, yeah.
So hey guys, listen, I hope you appreciate these. I enjoy. We don't get a chance to do it very often. It is because we are living the life that we're talking about. But I hope you find some satisfaction in it. If you do, drop down, leave a comment, and if you do feel so inclined, like and subscribe, follow along with the channel. You know, I'm not going to say something like we're on a quest to get to 100,000, but why not? We want to get to 100,000 subscribers. We'll see if we can make there someday. But either way, these are going to be great memories for us to have and hold on to, and hopefully our kids can use this with their kids way in the future, right?
Way.
It'll still be around.
Right.
Until next time.
Take care.